Alright, so all of this is one game. This game alone is 30 minutes of worth of a video record. The game itself is over an hour long, so get yourself some drinks, buy yourself some popcorn, I don't know, whatever you do. Sit down and enjoy the ride of hell. Alrighty then, it's time for a Jungle Nunu game. Let's get this show on the road. Which one? And to say this game is a doozy is putting it very lightly. Which two? So, straight up, my opponent is Skarner. He kind of gets rocked by Nunu in most cases because his pathing is extremely predictable. So, yeah, also my keystone isn't the best one for Nunu, and, just keep that in mind. Alright, so this video is obviously over 30 minutes long, and since I'm going to be voicing it, if I get a little bit weird, forgive me for that, right? Either way, I know Skarner's doing his red, and I figured he'd be faster than this, but whatever. I get to just kind of wait a little bit and waltz in and smite bite it. Nothing beats that in the early game, so Skarner just gets to be a sad little Robo-Scorpion. I also go ahead and take his Krugs just to make sure I bury his early game, because invasions of Skarner tend to be really difficult, because if you want to clear effectively, you need to take the little pillar. But if you do so, everyone knows where you are. So I just head down bottom lane because Skarner was kind of skulking around, and make sure to take care of my priority camps. So easy peasy lemon squeezy. He also turns on. He also used the vision flower to reveal me, and that gives away where he is. So I just go up and try to take him as wolves. Unfortunately, he managed to kill it before it got there. So. But still, though, essentially I'm able to keep track of where Skarner is right now and at least gain control of it, right? At least punish him and whatever. If you guys don't know, you guys should know, even with Nunu's buffs, he's still primarily a control jungler, someone who tries to control the map and pin someone down and essentially not let them play League of Legends. I take my red, and then I use the explosive plant to try to go and control blue buff, or the enemy Skarner's blue buff, keep him away from it. Although right now, since he's just kind of scattering around and I think they know where I'm at, I instead go down bottom lane and try to help my Sivir pick out a kill against his Vayne, and instead we take a lot of tower shots and it doesn't work out so effectively. However, Skarner goes back to his blue, and I know he's going to be, he's not going to be fast enough to take it, and once again, nothing beats the smite bite. So you get a low enough smite bite, they give a weird little chase to me, and thankfully, my Scion shows up to, give me some support here by just being fat and scary, and Yasuo decides to kind of die because reasons, right? He didn't need to be there. Teemo teleported in, scared off the enemy team. He and I give chase to the enemy Skarner. At some point, it's not shown in the replay, but Sivir kills the enemy Lulu, so it's not a complete waste. Plus, we were able to take the enemy red buff, which I give to my Teemo teammate so he can try to pressure top lane. Everything looks fine and dandy right now, right? It's going oh so well for my team. Oh so well. Now, don't let this calm demeanor tell you otherwise, but there's a reason this game went over an hour long, right? So yeah. So this part here I actually think is pretty cool. The enemy Skarner grabs my Teemo. He should have given up at this point already. I activate my ultimate, Scion comes in, knocks him up, and he explodes. Although, if I could have held it a bit longer, I would have just given it to Teemo. We also are able to get the Rift Herald because obviously there's no competition at this point. Even though it's only 3 kills in, 3 kills in on both sides, or, equally on both sides, and about 11 minutes in, I have basically gained map control, and without Tracker's Knife or anything like that. Essentially just gained it by, causing pressure, always keeping track on the enemy Skarner, and taking out as many red wards as I possibly could. And now that I have the Rift Herald, I can try to pressure a lane if I catch it open. At least that's my idea, right? So, yeah, right now, we're just kind of waiting, trying to shove them off. Sivir comes in with her ultimate. I refuse to follow them, and instead just take that red ward and then go mid lane and summon the Rift Herald to try to do some damage. I figured my bottom laners would have, kept them busy. Unfortunately, Ahri comes in alongside the Skarner, and they, bury my Yeti ass. And they also take down the Rift Herald. It didn't get to do very much, so I'm very disappointed by that. So, now it's 2-2, although I believe right now my Teemo gets himself gunned down like a degenerate. Here, right now, very slowly, you'll see it. My mid laners right now, or my 2 teammates in mid lane, are trying their very hardest, and they're not really gaining very much. Teemo dies, though I think the Sivir also managed to kill somebody who was in top lane. Yeah, the Lulu's gonna try to get her. I know you're not seeing this in the replay because the camera work was very odd. for the beginning of the game. Remember, controlling whatever is very hard. I go up top lane, punch Gangplank in his pirate ass and kill him. Again, look, the kill spread the kill spread is low right now, right? It's 4-3. It's gonna get worse because the Scion and I think we can do any damage, and we get a little bit too overzealous, and I die, and then the Ahri picks up the Scion. Even then, you know, my team still has a pretty significant gold lead, or a good enough gold lead, right? Then Gangplank gives a chase against Sivir. She uses her ultimate to escape. Bleh. So yeah, my team right now, despite the fact that this is a pretty lowish kill game, has control of the map. Now that I have Tracker's Knife and, you know, some control wards, I'll be able to gain more control, obviously. So hopefully we can maintain the momentum. However, my teammate Scion is just like yelling at everybody and starting to tilt everyone. And at this point, I'm just getting really greedy. And, you know, they saw me. They're all here, and I shouldn't have gone for this red buff. I was thinking I was going to use the explosive rune to save myself. The Teemo, I think he blew it up, or somebody blew it up, and it put me in range to get murdered, and the Skarner grabbed the Teemo, so we die for free. Thankfully, at least my team was able to get the mid lane, or the mid tower, so it wasn't as bad, you know, sacrificing our souls. And the Ahri got the red buff, so it didn't go to someone actually more convenient. Then the Scion decided to throw his life away because, hey, I'm already undead. You know, it doesn't matter if I die. Plus, he burned his flash, which is kind of sad. Here you see me trying to toggle or figure out how to turn on the all chat because, you know, things. I wanted you guys to see how toxic this game was. Again, my team doesn't have the most kills, but we're just kind of dominating the map, taking out the towers, being really annoying. Both teams are pushing potential is pretty bad. I mean, the enemy team has got Gangplank and Ahri, but if they do that, they kind of lose some damage effectiveness, and we could jump them. My team doesn't really have that many ways to activate Scion except, Yasuo's ultimate, except Scion doing something smart, which at this point, you can't really trust. And my team, what we're really good at right now seems to be dying. So, yeah, it's 4-10. And, you know, don't let that calm demeanor get you any ideas that, you know, this game is going all right. You can tell the game is about to get somewhere. I get to try to steal the blue buff, and, you know, I'm going to get trapped and murdered, so I just make sure to take it before I get destroyed. It goes to the Ahri. She's about 6-0-4, you know, 6-0-4. That's looking pretty bad. It's 4-11 right now. You know, the gold spread is still pretty much on my team's side, which is a surprise, right? Not too much so, but even in the game, we knew that we kind of at least had the map controlled, right? At least we had that going for us, right? At least that works. So yeah, I don't do any damage because I'm not leveling up my snowball. So at this point, I'm pretty much just an auto attack minion. I don't do anything except give blood boil to hopefully my teammates who don't suicide themselves by running into the enemy Skarner and getting pulled to them. That's the best thing I got, right? I'm constantly giving it to Teemo because he takes advantage of basically everything I would give him. And, you know, he totally won't put himself in danger by walking into the enemy starter. Here, I'm just trying to control the map. Just plopping down wards, giving us vision. Because at least there's one thing we can do is run away from being engaged, which is pretty hard because the enemy team has got a lot of mobility. And they're very fast. Thankfully, we killed the enemy Nunu, who's just hanging out. Scion goes in. Yasuo ults in on the Skarner for really low effect. And thankfully, we were able to kill a few of them before all of us get kind of murdered. So, yeah. Want to watch the greatest, most smartest play I'll ever do in the entire history of the game? So, the enemy Ahri is pretty low. And I figure, hey, I still got my ultimate. I should be able to take her down. I walk into her, get charmed and killed. Yeah. Good job, Nunu. So, yeah. It's 8-14. My team has a small gold lead, and you know we are taking towers. The enemy team is being pressured, which is a surprise because they at this point have proven to be the better team. Or my team is just completely stupid and throwing their lives away constantly. Like that Sivir had no business even trying to fight against a full health Ahri, but you know, fuck it. You know, who cares if she's got 9 kills now? Just let her have him. I'm trying to control the wards here, making sure Baron they never take it. Because again, the only thing we got going for us right now is, you know, the enemy team's just inability to get together and start pushing and taking objectives. Alright, so my build is Frozen Heart. And I was figuring, just go very tanky, get some more health and that kind of thing. Maybe work that out. We decide fighting near the enemy Gangplank's ultimate is a good idea. And progressively, we actually managed to kill the Ahri. And then, the rest of us kind of are super low and we're sticking about a little bit. Sivir just pushing at the tower. We traded 1 for like a 2. That's good for us. And then we're also able to get the dragon, which is the blue dragon, which is pretty good. And then my other teammates decided to just kind of scatter about. And, I got a little bit of frenzied camera work going on right here. We end up catching a Gangplank who is super difficult to kill. And then we give chase anyways because, that's a good idea at this point. Teemo goes in. We're a little too close. I'm obviously, again, just giving Blood Boil to anyone I can. Trying to maximize my cooldown as much as possible just to make sure Blood Boil does its job. I put myself in an awkward position, but nothing really comes out of that. Again, if you guys could only see the chat, how toxic it was. And, of course, Teemo gets close to the Skarner and dies. If you guys want, you guys should take out a little notepad right now and just put up a tally. Just put Skarner plus Teemo, friends forever, and just put a 1 on it, alright? I get close, get damaged quite a bit, but obviously I'm a fat Nunu, so I'm not going to die anytime soon, and I get healed just by eating little minions. At this point, you're thinking, hey, it's a 4v5, you probably shouldn't be trying this, but, we're going to go for it anyways because we're suicidal. Ahri goes in, misses basically everything, so nobody gets punished. Then Gangplank's ultimate comes in, and, Sion, screams cowards while running in the opposite direction. So nothing really comes out of that. 11 and 17, just keep those numbers in mind. Meanwhile, our minions at top lane are taking out the tower, or attacking the tower, forcing Gangplank to retreat. Here, again, I'm trying to do some more ward controlling, just running about, giving Blood Boil to the relevant targets. Teemo's got the Blood Boil, because he deals quite a bit of damage, even if he's ignored, which he mostly isn't. He's trying to get close. Everyone's trying to get close to try to take the tower. And again, my build is going to be super fat. Again, just pay attention to my build, because I'm going to do some weird things with it halfway through the game. Sivir takes a lot of damage from the tower, which thankfully the enemy team wasn't there to punish it. We just move our asses up the top lane, just try to control it a little bit more, control the vision and whatnot. Then my teammates decide to engage on them because that's a smart idea, and they proceed to absolutely get murdered. So yeah, I do manage to steal the red buff and then scamper off, flashing away, surviving. Did I get the red buff? I don't know. Actually, I don't think I did. That's pretty sad. I take my own blue buff because at this point, everyone in my team is fighting each other and nobody feels like sharing. Thankfully, the Sivir ends up killing the Ahri, and then unthankfully, the Sion gets absolutely gank blasted. At this point, he's got 5 deaths and 9 assists, and he's yelling at everybody, calling us all useless, so that's great for us going, right? That's good for morale. I take a shitload of damage, but I survive because, again, I'm a fat Yeti, and if they focus me in fights, they're probably doing it wrong. But at the same time, whatever, all my team is a little bit too gung-ho. Yasuo goes in because it's a fucking Yasuo, and he gets absolutely murdered for free. Well, they use Skarner ultimate, but, somebody was going to die to it. And, of course, everyone's yelling at each other even more. It's 12 and 21. The score's a little bit inversed. But when it gets to about 14 kills, my team, I'm going to tell you, take out a stopwatch, and just, the second it gets to 14 kills, click that, okay? Just click that. You're going to want to. It's only about 13 minutes into this. The game is only a third done. The video, I mean. The game itself is, only halfway done. So we get Baron because the enemy team can't really stop this. Because, again, I'm also Nunu, so they really can't steal it from me. Though I did have a really terrible smite and bite, so they could have if they tried. The enemy team is being pushed into. Skarner goes in, grabs one of my sad little homies, the Teemo, who always gets too close to the Skarner because it's a good idea. Sion misses his Q against the Ahri, takes a huge bunch of damage. We get chased down. The Sivir is gonna get. I think she gets to survive. I get to gun down. So my fat Yeti has to sacrifice myself. Meanwhile, Yasuo split pushes and thinks even with that he can take down this super goddamn fatty tanky Gangplank. He really can't. But but he didn't die either. Though, and then him spending all that time fighting him means he gets caught, exhausted, and just kind of eventually killed. So, he did do some good though, so that's fine, right? That's not too bad. He took down the tower. So, yay for us. The enemy team gets Blue Dragon from under us. Sivir gets a weird little chase, but nothing comes of that either. Again, we're playing 2 different games. The enemy team has the murder shit down. My team has the whole map control down. Keep that in mind because honestly, as bad as this or weird as this game is going, it is still technically a good lesson for you to learn. So yeah, my team is cooldown reduction based and just kind of really fat and tanky. My whole shtick is this is just to survive and provide myself some kind of like, you know, fatty barrier for my team. That's at least what I had in mind from the beginning. You know, 15 minutes into this video, or at least recording, and about 30 minutes into this game. And yeah, you know, it's still not completely lost, or at least we didn't feel it was completely lost yet, because again, we have map control. But there's a certain thing going on. It's that the enemy team, their kill spread is ridiculously devious, and we are failing to protect everyone important on our team during these fights. Everybody on my team is grossly negative except the Sivir, and our farm is starting to trail behind theirs overall, or at least in many aspects. So, and they have a Vayne, and that's pretty scary, and, you know, our damage is bad. So yeah, we're just kind of hoping for the best now. Again, we still have incredible levels of map control, so we've got that going for us. We didn't get to use our Baron to pretty much any effect. Meanwhile, again, we catch a Vayne, blow her up. The Sivir gets, or not the Sivir, the Ahri gets to survive because we can't really do much. Sion goes in anyways, even though that's a little too dangerous. Yasuo goes in because he must press R at all costs. I go in because, you know, I might as well to join them and try to make sure they don't die as terribly. But unfortunately, it leads to my death and Yasuo's death, and Teemo hanging about. At least he gets, you know, do some quite a bit of damage. The Sivir is all by her little lonesome, and she gets caught. And you know, she tries flashing away, and she tries killing this guard, but he survives with just that little sliver of health. So overall, disappointing. Again, remember, it's 13 kills now. It's almost at the 14 mark. It's almost at the 14 mark. So I buy Knight's Vow, just again, to make sure whoever I give my blood vial doesn't die immediately. Some kind of protection, you know, of the Teemo who puts himself in really bad positions and, you know, manages to, you know, die every time. So yeah, 13 and 27, 40 kills so far in this game. Really, the huge disparity is kind of funny. Then the fact that this replay still shows that gold-wise, we are pretty goddamn even. This is really like, ain't that funny? So, either way, again, map control asserted. I went to try to get some control of the map and paid the price for that. Hooray. This is how supports feel, right? Then my teammates get chased. You know, the poor Teemo is constantly Skarner food. And as a result, we lose a Baron. And then the Sion decides, you know, he's going to try something. Nothing smart, but he tried something. Meanwhile, my mid laners, or whoever was mid, managed to get another tower and an inhibitor. You know, the Sion, you could argue, he provided a distraction for your teammates. It wasn't necessary either way. But nonetheless, he decides to yell at us, and then the Sivir decides to just kind of throw her life away because she could have, you know, teleported alongside the Yasuo, who safely got out, but whatever, right? Alright, so 13 kills. Actually, I think that 13 was the right mark, right? Just sort of take into account what's going on. Also, once again, though, the scores are inversed. It's kind of funny it keeps happening. Skarner decides to chase me, and for some reason, not remembering that I'm really, really fat and will never die. And so he throws his life away for no goddamn reason. Alright, so it's at 14 kills now. Just click the stopwatch. Just click it. Alright, 39 minutes to the game. Click the stopwatch at the 14 kill mark. So, with Skarner dead, we feel, you know, it's perfectly fine for us to get really aggressive on them. Sion goes in, ults in because, hooray, he gets CC to hell and dies pretty much immediately. The Great Blink ultimate separates us, and nothing is achieved by that, alright? Remember, 39 minutes in. You already clicked that stopwatch. I'm hoping you did click that stopwatch. Alright. So, I'm getting blue buff because it's better to have it than the enemy team having it. I'm clearing top lane, trying to, again, just to stabilize the lanes, make sure we don't lose too many towers. The enemy is going at mid lane, and we're in a really bad position to defend anything because they have blue buff. Ahri catches someone and he ends the Teemo again, so he immediately explodes. The rest of us can't really do very much. Yasuo uses wind wall against literally zero. You know, we're trying our best. I have the Knight's Vow. I'm basically a full build right now, just constantly getting the control wards, but eventually I decide, you know what, that's not necessary. I might as well get something like Randuin's Omen. You could argue, hey, Stonewall, why not a Thorn Mail? Well, if the enemy team is focusing me, they're doing it wrong, but I'm getting killed by other means anyways. I'm usually one of the last ones to get killed, or if I do die, I'm by my very lonesome, so they just kill me for free. Anyways, we caught the gangplank and then managed to kill him, and we just ended up eating his ultimate. We're pushing once again, which is again very foolhardy of us. Skarner comes in and we burn a little bit too much on him. But though at this point I was just trying to protect my teammates. But again, we're in a really bad position where the Scion gets killed but we're basically free. Or almost free. He's very low health. And the rest of us turn around and try to kill the Ahri, and I give chase to her, and I just don't get to do very much. Like, it's a kind of a sad thing where I'm just trying my very best not to die, and I get grabbed by the Skarner. Yasuo died too. But look at the kill spread. Look at the kill spread at the bottom machine. My team is all negative, except the Sivir. The enemy team is disgustingly positive, with the Ahri having 15 kills and 13 assists. We do kill the Vayne successfully, but it costs us our Sivir, so we really kind of lost our only good teammate right now. And then the Scion dies again. And meanwhile, he is yelling at us again in chat, saying, Yasuo, why didn't you ult? Not realizing he's dead. And then the Teemo gets caught again because he's just on par for the course. I'm 3-9-9, so, I can't really be speaking too much shit. But I'm doing my best. I'm basically a support jungler right now, carrying as many RO items as I can, buying the occasional elixir, and getting way more gold than I probably deserve to ever be getting, just because everyone's too dead to pick up these lanes. So hooray for that. Yay. So Baron is up again. Both teams are, gunning for it. Oh yeah, by the stopwatch I mean, when are we going to actually get a kill that's worthwhile anything? We got one kill within that for the last 6 minutes, and it wasn't even that good of a kill. It was just somebody getting a little overzealous, and it cost us a whole lot of stuff. The enemy team easily gets Baron, because no one's going to bother contesting that shit. We're just about going to die if we try. Both teams basically have full builds at this point. I know I do, and it's not that good of a build either. At this point, I'm trying to think to myself, there's only one thing that we're even doing. Though at this point, I'm kind of mentally already clocked out. All of us just kind of want to surrender and want this game to be over. I know I don't even try that hard anymore. I'm just like, whatever. If we surrender or if we fail to surrender, I don't just stop playing. But I get disheartened. I honestly didn't want to play this anymore because it feels terrible. Ahri catches the Yasuo, nearly chunks him down to hell. We give a weird chase anyways, catching the gangplank, forcing me to eat him. An orange, use my Randuins. We do basically fuck all during that whole thing. And then again, the Teemo gets caught, so he gets killed. Or more like he got sacrificed because he just couldn't, manage to escape. The Scion gets stunned. He goes in with his ultimate, although I think he probably had a good chance of just kind of walking it out. And, he very, very slowly gets killed, so I guess the enemy team takes a tower and an inhibitor, so... At this point, I'm checking elixirs because what else can I spend my gold on, right? To become even fatter and more gigantic fat-ass Yeti. But yeah, 15 kills. You can count that one kill, sure. But the stopwatch should still be going because that kill was just kind of a freebie and not going there. Essentially, it's 15 to 41, 47 minutes in. Things are not looking good for our old blue team. But the enemy team at this point, everyone is being super toxic to each other. The enemy team at this point just can't solidify an actual good push, so they're just kind of dragging this game longer than it needs to be. Yasuo goes in, gets a little too aggressive, his Guardian Angel is popped, Scion comes in and hits a pretty good target, but nothing's going to come out of it. My ultimate didn't get to do anything. My team just kind of explodes. Sivir and Yasuo die. Scion is once again the sacrificial undead zombie. The Nunu dies because she stepped on some mushroom at some point. But that's just Teemo. So yeah, Teemo and I are the only survivors, and we got to try to protect something. And the enemy team, instead of trying to push, they go for Dragon, because that's what you should be doing at this point. Alright, so I'm thinking to myself, what can I possibly do to make this less terrible? So, again, I'm chugging elixirs at this point, but I can only get so much stronger as a weak-ass fucking Nunu at late game. So... blood boiling the right teammates. I think I already have a full cooldown reduction or something like that. Just blood boil my teammates and just spam that as much as possible. What can a Nunu do? A Nunu cannot do anything. You're basically null and void, right? Aha, terrible joke. So, yeah, just par for the course. Just try to survive. 17 and 44 so far. Your stopwatch at this point should have ended, but if not, you can just keep going because we're not really getting any kills. You could try doing some math. At 39 minutes in, how many kills have we gotten within that time frame? About one kill per 4 minutes. That's pretty sad. right? Most games would have ended by this point, but no, we could have played 2 games at this point. All right, so the enemy team has a disgusting advantage and a disgusting kill spread on very dangerous targets on their team. Look at that. Look at that spread. Yet they still can't do much of anything because reasons, right? They're just... I don't know what they've been doing this game. They definitely have at least better push than us. My team does have some stall in the form of Teemo, but that shouldn't be anything. And the Ahri at this point can ignite my entire team on fire, and murder us, right? Or on fire. Sorry for that. Just a terrible link. Well, I'm very tired. All right. So my item build. I decide at some point during this, you know what? The only thing my team has going for it is pushing. So I decided to sell an item, and I'm going to be buying Banner of Command. Not until this little position here where they just try to push again very haphazardly, you know, waiting on their cannon minion. They could. They just throw their Skarner in there and murder somebody. Just pull anybody. They'll kill it. But, you know, they're not... Their pushing is so bad, it's making me kind of really sad. The only reason they've gotten this many kills is because my teammates decide to throw their lives away, like me running into the enemy team line. You know, I may be fat, but they'll still burn my ass down rather quickly. Oh boy. So yeah, I finally decide to sell an item and just start or I'm going to decide to sell an item and start plopping things down. Knight's Vow, constantly being recast between the Sivir and the Teemo. The enemy team just doing absolutely nothing. There you go. Banner of Command. I buy that, and I then go poop it on some minion in bottom lane. Just sort of watch the map, how things start going, right? It's about the smartest thing I've done all game. And again, my team has had very few kills in the time since I told you about that stopwatch. Ahri goes in to grab the Scion for whatever reason. Skarner goes in, you know, really haphazardly and grabs the Teemo again because he's just really hungry for that Yordle. And a whole lot of nothing just happened. That's kind of this game summed up, right? Vayne goes in to try to do some damage, and they're going to just get this inhibitor for free. But again, that was a whole lot of wasted to achieve very little. But in the meantime, the super cannon minion that I got going is doing some good work. Enough to at least get the gangplank to go in and stop him. Scion goes in, and we kill the Vayne. And I'd get some crappy camera work here. Skarner dies too, and I snowballed the Lulu, which means she's gonna die too. So 3 kills for basically free. Gangplank was forced to go down bottom lane because of that minion, and now we get to take an inhibitor. Could this be the final push? So Scion, or at least somebody, should be tanking this tower because it doesn't matter who they have alive. We could have just done significant amounts of damage, but we haphazardly go about it. And the dream is dead of making a significantly powerful push. So instead we get some inhibitors and we call it a day and scamper off, right? Good enough, sort of. My Banner of Command is about to come back off cooldown. Or soonish enough. And we'll be pushing a little bit stronger. I get a Z0 out portal too, just to make sure this becomes a little bit better. Most of my team decides to keep their very static builds. Because, you know, whatever. Just let me do it, right? But that's fine. I'm Nunu. I don't do much of anything else either way. So, Elder Dragon is born, or is spawned, and we try to go for it, and the enemy team is obviously around the corner, and they're very scary, and I'm scared for my life. But, again, we're able to get it because I'm Nunu, and I have the Bite Smite. So now, with Banner of Command, with the Dragon Force going behind us, you know, sick-ass solo right now. Nah, the Dragon Force sucks. And, the enemy team just haphazardly not really doing things correctly as much as my team wasn't. We're going for a mad push. We've crossed the 1 hour mark of the game. And not much has happened. Look at the CS. Look at the kill difference. It's ridiculous. Our Yasuo was 1-9-7, and yet the enemy team is finally sort of on the ropes. Then we get a really weird push there, and Teemo is caught again by the Skarner, and he dies. And then the Scion goes in with his ultimate, and he dies too. And then the rest of us kind of can't really do very much. So that push is dead. The enemy Vayne gives a chase, and I kind of try scampering off. But surprisingly, my teammates aren't dead yet, so I scamper right the fuck back in. And thankfully, the Sivir is able to kill the Skarner and the Vayne and and everyone, and the game is over. It was It was a good example, right, of how really bad pushing the enemy team had and how my team got dominated the map and had a lot of control over it. We seemingly were able to shit out a win because of that. But oh god, it was a disaster to play. I wanted to cry at the end. But you know what's truly worthwhile to cry about? Is that this is like my 6th attempt at voicing this video. Sometimes the video was rendered unusable around 12 minutes in. At one point, I voiced about 20 minutes of it, only to realize that my mic had turned off around 8 minutes of voicing it, so it was 12 minutes of me talking to myself. That's pretty sad. But you know what can really help me out and making me feel better about that? If you give this video a like. So go ahead and click that like button. And if aren't subscribed to my channel, click that subscription button. That helps me more than you think it does. That's become a meme now at this point, I think. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this video because it was painful to play it, to rewatch it, and to voice it. Yay.